Good morning, Fort Worth. It is the Fort Worth Roots Morning Show. My name is Andrew. This is our little morning show that we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. And for the month of October, we will be out at Hoppin' recording here in their fantastic dining room. You can get yourself a beer. You can pour it yourself. 29 computer tablets on the wall there that you can select from 2 different beers on each one. You don't have to wait on a beer, is the point of the story. It's a fantastic location right next to Doc's Records, and they have an incredible selection of beer on taps. They also have THC-infused seltzers, wines, all sorts of good stuff, and they do serve cocktails as well at their bar. Okay, happy October 7th, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We had our big annual event benefiting Cook Children's Hospital this weekend, and it went great. I'm afraid of bragging because sometimes people brag about stuff and it comes off a certain way, very egotistical, but I've got to brag on this one because of the volunteers and the sponsors and everybody that had a hand in yesterday's event out at Pouring Glory. We were able to raise a pretty good chunk of change for Cook Children's Hospital, and those final numbers will be calculated this week. But it was a great turnout. Fort Worth, you really represented, you showed up, and you made it a great event. So thank you guys so much. Next year is going to be even better. Let's get into it real quick with Craig Trojacek from the Fort Worth Fire Department. We actually recorded this, was it Saturday? No, I was busy Saturday. Must have been Friday. But we got to do some recordings every once in a while because you can't always catch people at 7 a.m. Let's get with Craig and roll it.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Craig, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for taking my call. Will you
How
tell
you been?
Doing all right. Busy, getting ready for our event this Saturday.
Yeah.
Can you tell our listeners? Hold on, there's a bus going by.
Say again?
I knew it was going to get real loud there for a second. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, can you tell our listeners who we're talking to?
Yeah, my name is Craig Trojacek. I'm the fire department PO here in Fort Worth.
Excellent. So we've been trying to connect with you. You're probably the busiest man I personally know. So, but,
Well, I think we're all busy, but I'd rather be busy than not. So.
yes, sir. One of the stories we saw in the news last week, looks like y'all have a new group of firefighters that just trained out of the academy.
Yeah, we're excited. We graduated 55 recruits this morning. It was actually 2 classes, Class 96 and Class 97. Class 96 has actually been out on the streets for a little while now. They came into the academy and they already had all of their emergency medical technician or EMT basic certifications. So they kind of were what we call a mid-track. They had the certifications, didn't have to sit through a complete academy because they already had that. And so we put them out on the streets as soon as we could get them fire certified. So they've been out there for a little bit doing some good stuff out there in the community. And then we had another class of 40 that we'll be hitting the streets tonight, first time ever in the life. So it's an exciting day here at the fire department.
That's awesome, man. Glad to hear that. Of course, always let us know what we can do to support the Fort Worth Fire Department through our humble little show here. And it's exciting to hear some of the more personal stories of you guys rather than just what we're seeing in the news. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you see us on the news, but we all got families that we got to go home to, and loved ones, and friends, and when you're on the fire department in the fire service, you kind of carry that with you 24/7. It's not something you turn off or let go of, but it is nice from time to time to take that uniform off and just be a mom and a dad and a husband and wife and son and all that kind of good stuff too. So it keeps us grounded.
Absolutely. Hey, I don't know if you've got any information on this or if it's even allowed to talk about, but last week there was a gentleman that fell inside one of the grain silos. And, the fire department had to get some equipment out to remove him from the silo and bring him out on a one of those flat boards to stabilize his neck and back. Do you know anything, any details on that story?
Well, so I did not make that particular scene, but I did do some reports and talk to some gentlemen that were on that call. And it sounds like there were two individuals, and I'm not sure what they were actually doing inside of the silos themselves. But like you said, one of them took a fall a little over 10 feet, from my understanding. And when crews arrived, his buddy was able to call 911 and get us there. And when our crews arrived, some of these same recruits that were doing our ride-outs, they were some of the first firefighters on the scene that night, and that they realized they had a technical rescue situation. So some of our trucks have different equipment than others, and some of our guys are more specialized in different areas compared to some of the basic and general training and certifications that we hold as firefighters. So when they showed up on that scene, they realized it was something that we were going to have to get some of our more skilled and different trucks with different equipment on. So they called for that high angle rescue pretty quick. And when those crew members showed up, they had to package them. Luckily, we've got medics that were able to get there above grade to his side and start doing some treatment and some work on the patient to try to keep some of the pain down. And they were able to bring him outside of a window and lower him down on one of our it was actually Tower 8. They brought him back down to the ground before we handed him off to MedStar. He was transported to the hospital.
Sounds like he's going to be all right.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things with the fire department. We're kind of, that's tough on us, because once we hand them off, we don't really ever get to hear the end of the story.
Yeah.
The hospital, we don't get updates on patients' conditions and things like that. So, especially for these new recruits over the course of a career, you always kind of have that hanging over your head. Well, I wonder if I made a difference today. You don't get to hear necessarily all the time the lives, that got saved, or that you had a hand in doing something like that, because we hand them over, and then the rest of the story is written in that book, but it's not the pages that we're able to put our eyes on. So. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you again for doing this, and I'd like to connect with you just whenever I can squeeze a minute of time out of you.
Sure. No, I'd love to. You know me, I'd love to help out as much as I can.
Absolutely. Craig's been on the show several times, and it's always a great recording. And in fact, the first time you and I sat down to do a recording, that within 2 weeks became our #1 episode. And I think I've told you this before. It's because the individual firehouses around town and everybody that's got some kind of connection with the Fort Worth Fire Department, it's just one big family. And so whenever they found out Craig Trojacek was going to be on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, they wanted to see what you had to say and what they could do to make fun of you later, probably.
Oh yeah, well, and like I said, it kind of ties right back into we're lucky we've got some new members to join us today, and it's not just those individual members that came to the class. We've got extended families with all their families now. So yeah, we are one big happy family.
Excellent. All right, brother. Well, I'll let you get on with your day. Again, we're always here for you, and thank you again for your time.
No, man, we appreciate your support, and we appreciate what y'all do for us. Y'all take care.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Bye.
That is Craig Trojacek. He is the Public Information Officer for the Fort Worth Fire Department and a friend of ours here at the Fort Worth Roots Podcast. Sorry for the background noise, but if you are ever wanting to call in, you can just ring the number any time of day. We want you to call in at 7 a.m., but who's up that early besides me? Okay, what's that? I have no idea. Why is it making noise? Stop that. Okay. Number's 817-988-1292. It's listed everywhere, but I always put it in the show notes for these morning episodes. You can always call in if you're a 501c, if you hold an office position inside the city of Fort Worth and you want to put out a PSA, we're always here for that. And if you're a musician or an event promoter and you want to tell us about a big badass event that's going on in Fort Worth, please let us know. All right, let's jump into the news stories. Is that what we're doing first? No, hold on. Wait a minute. What's this? Today in history. There it is. Let's do that first. Today in history. U.S. invasion of Afghanistan in reaction to the terrorist attack of 9/11 begins. It will become the longest war in U.S. history so far. Is that right? I guess so. Well, yeah. Invasion of Afghanistan. In 01, I thought we were kidding. I guess that was 03 we got into Iraq. Anyway, I'd have to do some homework on that. Fox News Channel begins broadcasting in 96. and the world was forever changed. The Great Flood of '93 on the Mississippi and Missouri River ends, the worst U.S. flood since 1927. I wonder how that competes with our recent flooding. And then a bunch of other stuff that just in there for filler, I think. So that is the what happened this day in history. October 7th, National Days. Let's see if there's anything interesting here today. Today is World Day of Bullying Prevention, which really hits home for me. If y'all were at the event this weekend, Dustin Snyder poured a full beer down the front of my nice clean shirt. And if we have time, I'll get into the story on how long I had to wear that shirt. But we got to get through these updates. National LED Light Day, National Child Health Day, National Frappe Day. Just ridiculousness. There's going to be a National Fort Worth Roots Day. Today is Mental Illness Awareness Week. Actually, that started Sunday. The whole week, mental awareness. If you need some help, reach out to people. Fire Prevention Week. We did talk about this offline, myself and Craig Trojacek. This week is Fire Prevention Week. And I don't know what all they have on the schedule for the Fort Worth Fire Department as far as that goes. But hopefully next year, about this time, we'll have more information on that. All right, moving on. Fort Worth bar fight leads to shooting, police chase, and crash. Here's the brief. Multiple altercations at a Fort Worth bar escalated into a shooting, car chase, and crash Sunday night, police said. One group shot at another group, causing them to crash into another vehicle, then fled the scene. The driver of the vehicle involved in the pursuit was arrested, and there were no serious injuries. Huh. It says bar altercation. Which one was it? Does it say? Let's see here. It says club near the 2500 block of Northeast 30th Street around 11 p.m. After this first altercation, one group was asked to leave, but returned shortly after, leading to another confrontation. All right. Right on. Stop shooting people. It's not good. Yellowstone cast and crew hold wrap party at Fort Worth's Joe T. Garcia's. See, cast and crew, Saturday evening at Joe T. Garcia's. Just looking through the highlights here. Yellowstone and other spinoff series from creator Taylor Sheridan occasionally shoot in the Fort Worth area. I don't know if y'all know this, but Fort Worth is quickly becoming a filming location for a lot of series and television shows. A new studio, let's see if I can remember the name of it. It's Dr. Phil's organization, and they just opened a studio just north of town, I think, still Fort Worth, but in the Alliance area. And I cannot remember the name of the studio right now, but it's happening. All the big leading actors and stuff like that, they're moving to Texas. Another Fort Worth shooting, 1 dead, 3 injured near the stockyards. Fort Worth, Texas police are investigating a shooting that killed 1 person and injured 3 others near the stockyards early Sunday morning. The shooting happened around 3 a.m. in a parking lot near the intersection of Northwest 24th Street and Ellis Avenue. Police say a suspect shot into a crowd of people, hitting 4 people. 1 person was killed and 3 others were taken to the hospital. Their conditions have not been released. The Tarrant County Medical Examiner identified the man who was killed as 18-year-old Joseph Padilla. Name sounds very familiar. Okay, what do we got here? I tried to pull all these notes up. Put them on my little browser tab for you. Hurricane Milton strengthens. Triggers storm surge warnings for Florida Gulf Coast. So here we go again, folks. Life-threatening storm surges are due to hit Florida Gulf Coast this week with the arrival of Hurricane Milton, which is strengthening over the southern Gulf of Mexico. 1 second. Oh my. Okay. Let's see. Set to make landfall as a powerful Category 3 storm on Wednesday. Milton is now a Category 2 storm with sustained winds, oh my God, up to 100 miles an hour. Expected to intensify. So I guess we're in it, man. It's definitely hurricane season. Here's your news forecast for the week. It's pretty plain. I still can't believe it's October. Excuse me. Okay, so every year we push the event back, the big annual event. We push it back 1 week, trying to find cooler temperatures. But we've been unsuccessful. I mean, this year it was a little cooler than last year for our event. We were sitting around 90 degrees for the high this past weekend. Last year it was 100 plus, and it was awful. So we did do better this year, but man, it's October. Give us a break, man. Monday and Tuesday is not going to be too bad. Monday today is going to be a high of 89. Tomorrow's a high of 86, and then starts creeping up on us. Wednesday 88, Thursday high 92, Friday 93, and Saturday 95, Sunday 94. And then next week, we'll just have to see how that changes because they don't know what they're talking about. But it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be 87, 80, and 83. All sunny, no chance of rain. So there you go. That's all that. I want to say a big thank you to everybody that came out to our big event benefiting Cook Children's this year. This was really important to us. Obviously, we put a lot of time and effort into this thing. And I couldn't have done it without all the help that we got from the vendors and the sponsors and our volunteers. Maria Castillo really did head up 95% of everything that we got accomplished out there. And if you came out there and I didn't get a chance to see you, I would like to apologize. I was busy, really busy. Just running the stage was enough to keep me occupied. Next year, what we're going to do is we're going to be asking for help from the local community. We're going to need 2 people to run sound at minimum. We might need 4 because we're talking about doing 2 stages next year. But we had I want to say damn near flawless event. There was just nothing went wrong. Everybody was having a good time. And I've gotten nothing but love and praise from everybody that attended the event. So great turnout, wonderful stuff. And thank you to the bands. My God. So the way we choose our bands is we want people that will be involved with the music series for the year. There's 2 events. We have them play at an individual location around Fort Worth, and then everybody plays together at the event at the end of the series. So that is it for the live music series this year for 2024 as we ramp up and get ready for next year. And I promise you, if you got to come out to this year's music series, if you saw what we did, this next one is going to be bigger, badder, and more well put together. So, and we strive to do that each and every year. We want to make sure that we continue to improve it for you guys. And if you're not aware of that, the music series, we put a different artist on a different stage around Fort Worth starting in March all the way through October. And then one big badass final event there at the end of the series. So that will be 2025, and there will be a lot of updates coming for that one. We're going to get some more cool stuff going on at the morning show. This happens Monday through Thursday. Released at 8 a.m. every day. We start recording at 7. So if you'd ever like to call in, you certainly can. It's 817-988-1292. Love to hear from you. Adds value to the show, and it helps get more information out to the Fort Worth public. So please use that phone number. You can call us live at 7 a.m. every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or you can call and I will do a recording with you. The reason that thing was so grainy, that audio call we did with Craig, is because I was using a handheld Tascam with him on speakerphone, and I was sitting on a busy Fort Worth street. The reason is I always have this Tascam with me, and I can pull it out and record anything, anytime, and then bring it to the show later. Now, of course, if you and I schedule something, I'll have the Roadcaster out, and we'll do a real nice, super professional sounding recording, as professional as I can make it. But never hesitate. There's plenty of options. You can either record it yourself on a voicemail, or you can get me on the phone, and we'll talk about something real quick. All right, what else? I always forget something, but we're going to get this thing down packed. We're going to streamline the show for you. Really excited about this. The big announcement this weekend was that if you guys ever listened to the Russ Martin show, which I was a huge fan of, unfortunately, Mr. Russ Martin passed away kind of unexpectedly due to health issues. And so the Russ Martin show was no more. I think they changed the name of it, and it played as something else for 2 or 3 years, but they ended up closing that one down as well, I believe. So there's no more Russ Martin show. But one of my favorite segments was Black Thunder. Alfie McCoy in Black Thunder. What they did is they had a helicopter, quote unquote, and they would fly around DFW and give you traffic updates and things like that. Well, the big announcement with the Fort Worth Roots podcast, and I think I mentioned this last week, it's a huge financial burden, but we did it for you. We purchased Alfie McCoy's Black Thunder traffic helicopter. So we did that because we wanted to add value to the show and give you real live updates from the traffic situation out here in Fort Worth and the surrounding area. So we are currently looking for somebody to cover down on riding with our pilot and looking out the window and conducting these interviews, the traffic reports. We've got a couple of people that are mulling it over and trying to figure out how that'd work with their schedule. But we're looking forward to it. And we've got the helicopter in the shop right now. It needed a lot of repairs because Alfie McCoy's Black Thunder had been sitting there mothballed for a while. So we've got it. We're putting some new decals on it, making sure it's gotten all the service checks, and it's got its flight worthiness certificate updated. So as soon as that's all done, as soon as we get somebody that can sit shotgun with our pilot, we'll have the new Fort Worth Roots Sky Viper. We're really excited about that. Guys and gals, thank y'all so much for listening to today's episode. We really want to do everything that we can to connect the community and just do our part. So thank you for being here. You can follow us on social media, Fort Worth Roots on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you ever need to get a hold of us, it's media@fortworthroots.com. That's our email. You can find us. You can get these episodes faster by going to our website, fortworthroots.com, and just look for today's episode, October 7th. And, you get it faster on our website because when we publish, it goes straight onto the website. And then the individual streaming services like Pandora, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, they update on their own schedule. So that will be out to you in quick order, but you can get it faster at fortworthroots.com. So thank you for joining us for this segment of the Fort Worth Roots Morning Show. Moving through today, I hope you'll choose love and gratitude every chance you get. Until next time, folks. Good day.